What's going on, everybody? GoodMicWork commentaries back at you with another edition of The One-Off, and we have got some controversy on our hands to discuss today, boys and girls. Oh my! It is now late Saturday night. This video will probably be hitting YouTube sometime on Sunday morning, but I've been flooded all week with tweets and YouTube comments asking me about my opinions on this subject, so I'm sorry it has taken me this long to get up here, but much like the WWE, I was kind of monitoring the situation. Don't you just love that? The way they put that, they're monitoring the situation. Get the fuck out of here. But that's pretty much what I've been doing. I've been really busy at work, so I knew I wasn't going to have time to come up here and, shoehorn a video into the channel or rush a video out to you. I kind of wanted to wait and see what this was all about, read a little bit more about it, maybe hear some opinions from some other people out there. And from what I can tell, we're all kind of thinking the same way here. So for those of you who might be unaware of what I'm about to talk about here, let me just give you the Cliff's Notes version of what's going on with this whole deal. Now, you can read up on this and research it and educate yourself on it. Just go online and you can read a lot of articles and a lot of stories about this stuff. But just to give you the basic gist of what we're looking at here is there was a journalist who writes for the Washington Post, actually lives here in the United States, I believe in Virginia. He was more or less, I guess, lured. There was some orchestration to get him to the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. And he was shown entering the building. I believe surveillance cameras or surveillance footage show him entering, but they do not show him leaving. And it is widely believed that he was murdered. He was detained and murdered right inside of that building. And it's very much believed that because this journalist was very outspoken against the regime, that they had him killed, virtually assassinated. And it's not like they shot him in the head or anything like that. Apparently, the stories coming out are pretty fucking gnarly. There's been reports of him being tortured and murdered and dismembered. Like they hacked up his whole fucking body, packed him in suitcases, and sent him back to Saudi Arabia. That's fucked up. So naturally, there is a lot of outrage and there's a lot of outcry right now, and WWE is stuck right in the middle. And it's so messed up because I knew there was just a part of me that knew when this deal was first done and first signed with Saudi Arabia that it just gave me this uneasy feeling like something like this was going to happen. It's already fucked up enough how hypocritical WWE looks, the way they pat themselves on the back and suck their own dicks about how wonderful they are to women, yet they sell their soul to the devil here, a country or a kingdom that will not even let women compete. So that's bad enough. And WWE tries to make it right in the most transparent way possible by having this Evolution pay-per-view, a pay-per-view that I'm actually really looking forward to, and I think the work on the show and the matches are going to be really good. It's almost like they're giving a little participation trophy for the women. Oh, sorry, you can't make this trip over there, so we're going to give you your own pay-per-view instead. I mean, maybe in some way you could look at it as their FU to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, we're going to take all your money, but if you're not going to showcase our women, we're going to showcase our women ourselves, and we're going to do it using only them. We're going to ban men from our show. So yeah, fuck you, Saudi Arabia. So at the end of the day, all that kind of stuff, while it bothered me, while it was annoying, while I knew it was hypocritical, but newsflash, WWE has always been hypocritical. So this felt more like stupid social injustice stuff that really at the end of the day, as fucked up as it is, nobody's harmed, nobody's hurt, nobody's dead, nobody's dying. It's just one of those situations where some people are going to feel one way and some people are going to feel another, and you can debate it, but at the end of the day, it's virtually harmless. Now we're venturing into some really different type of territory here, and there's been reports that a lot of the talent, and that was my first thought, my mind went straight to the talent. Like, they're the ones that have to make this trip. They're the ones that have to go over there. And do you think any of them are nervous or uncomfortable with the whole situation? Probably a lot of them are. But, the money is so ridiculous. The money is astronomical that it's going to take a lot for WWE to pull out of this deal. And I think when they say we're monitoring the situation, what they're doing is they're not monitoring the situation with the dead journalist. They're monitoring what the public is saying. They're monitoring how bad the outrage is, because if it's insurmountable, they're going to look like fucking morons for not pulling out of the show, all in the name of money, because they have no other excuse. They're going to have to basically admit that we are greedy and we're going over there for the money. We know it's a messed up situation and our thoughts and prayers go out to the journalist and his family and all this crap. but we're still going to go over there and we're still going to collect our money. Now, to be fair, WWE is not the only company that's under pressure. There are other companies that have business dealings with Saudi Arabia. Some of them are already taking action, most notably Richard Branson, I believe. So WWE's not all by themselves in this situation. It's just extremely delicate, and then when you add the fact that all of this is still alleged and nothing has been proven yet, and of course Saudi Arabia is completely denying it, it's just a situation that I'm glad I'm not in the middle of. So what I'm hoping is that the pressure is so much that they really just have no choice. Because they also have sponsors to think about as well. If Snickers has a huge problem with this, maybe that will persuade WWE in making this decision and at least postponing the show. Creatively, it wouldn't do anything to WWE's product at all. Saudi Arabia pretty much has purchased themselves a house show. You are not going to suffer at all if this show doesn't happen. And you got a couple of choices. You can either just move the event and still do Crown Jewel, move it over here to the States somewhere last minute, move it to New York or something, draw a good house for it and try to salvage it. Or you can just take the entire card and put it at Survivor Series, a show that I'm going to be at in LA. So from a creative standpoint, this isn't going to throw too much of a monkey wrench in their plans. Just transfer all the shit over to Survivor Series. What's the big deal? So creatively, that shouldn't be an issue. So what good reason would WWE even have to go over there now with all the pressure they're facing, with all the outrage they're facing? They don't need this type of bad publicity. And as a wrestling fan, it pisses me off. And that's why I've had this uneasy feeling about the Saudi Arabia deal right from the start, because, wrestling is like our escape. For those of us that live here in the United States, and I'm sure all over the world, but really here in the U.S., our entire lives right now is like 24/7 political shit. Whether you're watching TV or the news, or God forbid you're on fucking Facebook, it's politics, politics, politics. One day we've got some slime ball being sworn into the Supreme Court. The next day Trump is eating tacos with Kanye. It's so fucked up here. So the last thing I want is for this political circus that we have to live with every single day in this dumb fucking country I live in to start trickling into the wrestling business. And here it is. Front and center. I got to make a video that's somewhat political. I mean, not really, but it's definitely got some political sides to it because don't forget, Linda McMahon works for Donald Trump. Kane just got elected mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. There's going to be some added pressure there. It's not like this is some other company with no political ties at all doing business with the Saudi government. And I'm just kind of kicking back. I mean, I feel terrible and I'm disgusted with what happened to that journalist. But as far as WWE and their reaction to it, I'm almost trying my best to be mildly amused by watching them twist in the wind and watch them have to make this decision, especially if that decision is to go through with the show, the way they're going to have to spin this and twist it. They might even have to make some sort of a statement on TV. It's going to be really frustrating to watch them just sell out here because most of the time in my videos, you guys know this, I try to look at both sides. And I try not to just jump on one side, in some angry fit of rage, saying, oh, you must do this or you must do that. I always try to look at both sides. I am really having trouble seeing more than one side here. I can't imagine what WWE's logic is going to be and what they're going to tell us if they go through with this show. Because in most controversial situations, especially political ones, you generally have a whole bunch of people feeling one way and a whole bunch of people feeling another way. I can't really think of anybody, or I have not seen too many people online that have come out and said WWE should go through with the show. They would be stupid to cancel it. I don't see really a lot of people saying that. The only people I feel bad for, I suppose, are the very young fans who were probably very much looking forward to this show, but their fucked up government might ruin it for them. So I feel bad for them that they might not be able to see the show, but I don't really care. It's not good. WWE doesn't want this kind of publicity. I mean, it's bad enough what WWE gets from the fans when they're angry at them for creative shit. Oh, you're pushing the wrong guy and Roman Reigns always wins and, we hate Charlotte and Becky should be a face and all. And think about how angry they get over little shit like that. You're probably going to have to times that by about 50 now because I think the fans are going to get angry and angrier about this and they're going to be more outspoken. And the more people that speak out, the more likely we are to actually have WWE at least postpone the show. So WWE's got to figure it out They only have probably about a week or so to make this decision. Because after that, people are going to have to be over there, production crew and shit like that, getting ready for the show. And I'd hate to put them in danger. So whatever WWE is going to do, they better fucking decide. But if they decide to go over there, it's going to be really just crazy to fathom all the WWE stars and Vince McMahon sitting down and having dinner with the people in charge over there. Remember at the Greatest Royal Rumble, they released that footage of Brock Lesnar and Undertaker and all the big stars all sitting there with Vince, having dinner with the royal family or whoever it was. So I'll be really surprised to see something like that take place this time if they go through with the show. But my opinion is they should just fucking not do it. It's just not right. It's disturbing. It's disturbing enough what already goes on over there with the women and shit like that. But like I said earlier, that was something I could almost just let go or reluctantly ignore. This is kind of like a whole new type of deal now. And I would think if I was a wrestler, if I was on the roster, I would be uncomfortable going over there. I would probably be against it. I don't know if I'd speak out or not because it's probably really not up to me unless WWE treats this like they do during the tribute to the troops, or like they did where they would offer a way out for all the talent. Hey, if you don't want to go, you don't have to. There's the infamous story of Rob Van Dam refusing to go over to Iraq. And I loved that story. And I just wish more wrestlers had the balls to just stand up and say, no, I'm not fucking going. Go fuck yourself. I'm going home. I want to hang out with my family. I don't want to go to Iraq. So I don't know if the talent is going to be allowed to back out if they want. I mean, it's going to be a pretty big payday, for some of them who might be getting close to $1 million for this one match. They might consider going because they have to think about their families too. And that's why it always gets so funny too with anything politically controversial. For example, like if a company pisses off somebody, it doesn't say Merry Christmas on a Starbucks cup. I'm never going to spend another dollar at Starbucks again. Or I'm mad at Chick-fil-A because they close on Sundays, so I'm not going to go there anymore. And fuck Nike and fuck all these companies. What people don't understand is that thousands of people work for these companies. And they don't all have the same views as the people at the top of the company do. Look at WWE. Linda McMahon works for Donald Trump. And you've got a whole bunch of talent there that probably votes Democrat working for a company that's basically in bed with one of the most vile presidents we've ever had. It's got to be tough for them. So they're dealing with that type of shit all the time. And that's why I hate that politics even is in wrestling at all. I hate that Linda McMahon even got into politics. What is she doing? What is wrong with her and Vince McMahon? Do they drop acid like every day? She wants to be involved in politics this late in her life. Vince McMahon is starting football companies at age 72. What's wrong with these guys? So I just wish wrestling could be wrestling and we didn't have to worry about this bullshit. But anyway, that's beside the point. At the end of the day, I believe my personal opinion is they should cancel this show. But WWE, like I said, and like we all know, are greedy bastards. They really are. And a company that big, your bottom line really is the most important thing. And it's going to take a lot for that to no longer become the most important thing. And you're going to have to sacrifice some of that revenue in order to not murder yourself publicity-wise. And that's why I'm trying my best just to laugh at WWE. I'm like, you know what? You idiots asked for this. You're signing these crazy-ass fucking deals. You look like hypocrites literally 2-3 times a week minimum. And here you are now stuck in a horrible situation. I'm so glad I don't have to make that decision. Aren't you? Aren't you guys all happy that we don't have to be the ones to say yay or nay on this? I guess I'd be okay with it if I said no. Okay, can I tell people that we're canceling the show? Great. I'll be happy to do that press conference. But if I have to tell them that we're going, I need to be wearing a bulletproof vest. So I would hate to be the person tasked with making this final call. I don't know if it's going to be Vince McMahon. I don't know if it's going to be publicity people or lawyers or what. I don't know if Vince is going to get a call from Trump. And Trump's like, hey, man, you shouldn't be going over there and blah, blah, blah. Maybe he'll tell Vince to not go. And if you get an order like that directly from the president on the telephone, guess what? You don't go. So for once, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually hoping that Donald Trump intervenes and maybe places a call to the WWE. It might take something like that in order for WWE to say, okay, we're going to pull out. So basically, my opinion is definitely yes, WWE should cancel the show. I think they should cancel the show or move the show or postpone the show or whatever. Because things do blow over. Like I mentioned earlier, we're dealing with one insane news story after another on a day-to-day basis. So within a couple of weeks or a couple of months or a few months, this is going to completely dissipate and leave our memories. And so maybe WWE feels that they can tiptoe back into Saudi Arabia and do another show maybe after WrestleMania next year. You know, maybe they just have to cancel this one and pick it up later on. I don't know. But let's assume that they're going to go through with it. Let's assume that they're doing it on November 2nd. I don't know what you guys want me to do. Even though I'm very much of the opinion that they should cancel the show, I'm not going to be one of those people that boycotts the show. I still need to watch it. I still need to review it. I've got a YouTube channel with a big audience. My job is to come up here and review wrestling shows. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm always going to try to do my best to ignore the political cloud that might be surrounding something and try to judge the wrestling matches. So if they do go through with Crown Jewel, it's not going to do any good to boycott the show. Because WWE, if they hadn't learned their lesson, you know, like, it's on the network, they already got your $9.99, you're not hurting them whatsoever to boycott the Crown Jewel event. They really don't care. They want their money. They're getting their billions from Saudi Arabia. I really don't think they're going to care too much if Willie Williamson from Columbia, South Carolina is going to boycott the Crown Jewel event. I don't think they give a shit. So because of my YouTube channel and because of my responsibilities, I'm going to watch the stupid show, and I'll come up here later that day and do a review on it. But aside from that, we'll be able to forget about it pretty quick, because just a couple of weeks later, we've got Survivor Series coming up. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. I'm sure you guys are already typing away in the comments below, so I'll be somewhat interested to read what you guys have to say. But I would assume that most of you agree with me, right? That they should cancel the show. The situation is just a little bit fucked up. We'll wait and see what happens. I don't know if we're going to get any sort of a definitive announcement on this in the next few days, if we're going to get a yay or nay, if WWE is going to go through with it or not. But maybe we'll find out something this coming Monday night on Raw. And I will be up on Monday doing my live Raw watch-along as always, so come join me for the live stream on Monday if you would like. And this Tuesday is also SmackDown 1000, so I'm going to be up here back-to-back Monday and Tuesday live streaming Raw and SmackDown, and we'll talk about everything. It'll be a lot of fun. So I will catch you guys tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. Until then, peace.